Okay, so originally I wanted to go and try to make this video a lot earlier, actually. Originally I wanted to try to get it out not too long after I made the previous missing person video, but about pretty much the same time I put it up, I got pretty sick. I just got a terrible cold that pretty much took all my energy away, and a cough, sneeze, everything like that. And it was like that for about a week, and after that I pretty much just went and pushed this video off more and more, even though I should have gone and done that, but I got lazy, and with that, eventually I knew I had to go and try to go and make this, since I wanted to go and make this one for a while. And that is the Amber Hagerman case. So, the Amber Hagerman case is probably one of the more well-known one of the 90s. Well, she isn't probably as well-known as someone like John Bennett Ramsey. She is still pretty well-known. You can go up to a couple people and ask them who she is, and they might know, and others might not know. But so she's not a household name like some of those other people, but a lot of people do still know who she is. And a lot of them should, since she is what the Amber Alert is named after. Whenever you go and hear an Amber Alert on your phone or the TV or the radio, she is the one it's named after. And it's interesting to go and see a case like hers, since I think her case kind of happened at a weird time. It was kind of in between the missing milk carton kids and the Amber Alert. The missing milk carton kids was pretty much more around the 80s, but around the 90s it was starting to die off, since it never really worked as well off as they wanted it to. That's not to say it was a complete failure. It did get some cases done, but at other times it was just it didn't help at all, since the cartons came out days after they were taken, which by then it would have been too late. Some people thought it was just kind of creepy having this face in their fridge always staring at them. So it was just, it didn't work out, and it did work out. But by the time Amber was kidnapped, it wasn't really used as much. So when someone like her got kidnapped, it was pretty much just go and try to find them as best as they can. And it was because of Amber that we do have the Amber Alert, that these cases are able to go and get solved a lot more, since now they can go and put these kids' cases out there a lot sooner, often within just minutes or so. And I really do think her family deserves justice for this. That the fact that her case hasn't been solved yet. It's been almost 30 years and her case isn't solved. And I just find it heartbreaking that she has helped go and save a bunch of kids, but her case isn't solved yet. And it's just, I don't see how that's fair at all. It's just stupid. I really think Donna deserves justice, Ricky deserves justice. They deserve to know who killed Amber. And I'm amazed it's not really solved, because it did get a lot of attention when I think it was when it happened, and how they just never found him is just unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, you can argue they didn't have the technology then, the DNA technology wasn't as good, they didn't have anything like doorbell cams, but still, they were able to solve other cases where there were less leads, and why not Amber? So, her case was pretty much just your typical case. She was out riding her bike, having a good day, when all of a sudden some guy just went and grabbed her and took her into his truck. And the police, they tried to find her for the last few days. Amber and her family, they went and put out a bunch of flyers, but sadly they couldn't find her. And just a few days later, they found her body in a creek. So they had the funeral and all that, and eventually Amber's family went and decided to go and fight, and eventually the Amber Alert was created. So I think this case got a lot more attention because of pretty much of the documentary that was made. Amber and her family were in this documentary, and I think they went and released some of that footage when they were talking about it on the news. And usually when a person goes missing, the only thing they put up is a still image or two. That's it. They usually aren't going to go and put up a bunch of footage or anything like that. Usually just an image is enough, just to go and what this person looks like. But I think with Amber, what made it kind of different was because they saw the footage, it kind of made it a little bit more lively, I guess would be the word. They just didn't see a still image. They saw a little girl just going around her day, just playing on her bike, playing with her friends. And I think the footage is what helped with that. A still image is a still image, but when you actually see someone just going and playing around, you see them for who they are. You see them as this person. And I think that's what really kind of helped this case a little bit more. So, when it came to the Amber Alert, Donna always felt that if the Amber Alert existed before, there's a chance Amber could have been saved. It's not guaranteed, but there's always a chance, because if they got it out there earlier, they could have maybe found out. And in real life, it took several hours for the news to get it out there, but if they found it out just within minutes and were able to get it out there quickly, they may have gone and someone might have seen the truck out there, reported it, and they could have caught this guy and maybe get home Amber alive. So, usually, when it comes to cases like this, the first 3 hours are often the most important. If you don't find a kid within the first 3 hours, I believe it drops down to around 70% or so that they will be found alive. And day after day, it drops even more and more. By, I think, the third day, it's under 10% that they will be found alive. There have been cases before where they have been found, quite a few, but usually if they're gone for that long, you might as well just go and be planning the funeral. And when it comes to Amber Alerts, some people really don't like them. Some people think they're overused, because maybe the Amber Alert is being broadcast in your area, even though maybe that it's actually happened halfway across the state, and it would be impossible for this person to be all the way over there. Maybe it's just a false alarm, maybe the parent thought their kid was missing, but really isn't. And again, with the 3 hours thing, if the Amber Alert is made after that, it'd already be maybe too late. But at the same time, it has saved a bunch of kids. According to the missing and exploited children, it saved over 1,000 kids. I'm not sure how accurate that really is, but according to them it is. And even if it's not 100% accurate, it still has saved people. So I do think it has done more good, and it's done more good probably than what the milk carton kids did. And a lot of other countries have gone on to do their own Amber Alerts. They go and have it as the same name, or they go and have it as a different name, maybe as some other kid who got kidnapped in another country, or just as some kind of emergency alert system. So it is good to go and see a bunch of other countries have followed with their own to go and save a bunch of kids as well. When it comes to who did it, it's always a really interesting question, because we don't know at all. With a lot of other cases, there are at least some suspects, but with this, while they have suspects, they're very, very not that good. I mean, some people thought maybe Kibo did it, but at the same time, the guy was almost 80 years old, and there's even possibly a chance that a little girl like Amber could go and fight against him. I mean, she could blow on the old man and he'd fall over. And the time doesn't really match up to. She disappeared. She left her house around 3:10, I believe, and he called around 3:18. And it just would have been hard for him to go and pull that off with the timing, getting her back to his house from that parking lot and anything like that. So I just don't think that could have happened, and he couldn't have gone and kidnapped her in the neighborhood because that would have been just too risky. Just all these people around. And some people think Kosher might have done it since he was the one who found the body, and often when a person finds the body, they are often a suspect. And supposedly, there was this story about this infant found in a trash can, I believe, and I'm not sure if the infant was dead or not, or if he found it or not, but his name was still there, and I guess that still kind of made some people suspicious because the fact that he was in there and it happened so close to each other. But at the same time, I'm not really sure where he would have kept her. He had his own family. Unless he has his own little hidden shed somewhere or anything like that, there's just nowhere he could have kept her. And I don't believe he owned a black truck either, since I couldn't find anything on that. There were some other people. Supposedly Donna had a boyfriend that was questioned, and Amber's father was questioned, but since both he and Donna worked together, I don't think really she ever thought he did it or anything like that, so that went and pushed him out. And just the description of him was very vague. Some guy in his 20s or 30s, white or Hispanic, medium build, brown hair or black hair. That's just probably what, 75% of the people in Texas or so? It just wasn't that great of a description. The truck was a little bit better, but even with then, it was hard to find since they're looking for it in the Dallas area. But still, you think that they could have tried to go and narrow it down as best as they could. Go after any black truck that they could, whether it's a registered sex offender or not, and just try what they can. And it's just, they couldn't find anyone. It is believed that the killer might have lived in the area because her body was found only 4 miles away from where she was kidnapped. She was hidden pretty well in that creek, so that person had to be familiar with the area, and they probably never left the area in general, so. And they also had to go and hide somewhere, whether that be some kind of house or hideout or anything like that. So they had to have some kind of property there in order to go and hide her. I highly doubt that they hid in that truck for 2 days or so, since supposedly she was alive for 2 days. At least that's what the police think. So I'm not really sure how they could have done that. There was only one witness who came forward, which was Keeble, and the police do believe that there were more, with the people in the laundromat, but they never really said anything since they thought that if they did, that they might be deported, even though the police said that if they didn't, they wouldn't. Which, all that doesn't really make sense to me since you're helping solve a little girl's murder, and you're probably going to get awarded for it. Why not help in some way? But overall, I do think the Amber Alert has done more harm than good. I do see why some people don't like it completely. It can be annoying at times and everything like that, but I do think it has helped in some way. And if it could just save just one life, then I think that's good enough. Just to go and see a kid reunited with their parents. And I think someone like Donna would have agreed with that, and any other parent or sibling or friend or anything like that who's lost a loved one from a kidnapping. I used to kind of remember one time when I was a kid, my mom thought I got kidnapped. So when I was about 6 years old, I think this probably went about 97, I guess? Yeah, 97. So it was probably before the Amber Alert was in Missouri. Somehow my mom thought I was kidnapped since at the time, my 3-year-old brother thought I got into some car with some guy and the car just went and drove off. So naturally my mom freaked out over this and called the police. They rushed over, and then she called my dad at work and he came over. And the police, they were going around the neighborhood, they were going and asking neighbors questions, and they even got the roads blocked. But then just about an hour or two later, I came up walking down the street, and I see this, I see all the cops there, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I go up to one of the cops, and he goes and asks me, are you David? And I'm like, yeah. And then I guess he goes over and talks to my parents and says, hey, we found him. And then I think I remember my mom just coming up and hugging me and crying her eyes out, since she thought she was never going to see me again. I can't remember if I got in trouble or not. I probably did get in a lot of trouble for that. So, word of advice, if you're ever going somewhere, always tell your parents, or else you're going to go and get some roads blocked. It was really embarrassing for them. So, I do hope that her case is solved before Donna dies and the rest of her family. Already Richard is gone, and he never got to find out what happened to his daughter. And neither did her grandparents as well. And Berry Elementary is also gone. The school that Amber went to. I believe they tore it down sometime in the early 2020s or maybe late 2010s. But it's gone. The old one that she went to is gone. And I'm not really sure if they got rid of the playground or not. I hope not, since, I don't know, I think that would be kind of disrespectful. Even though I know it's been years and it was probably old, they still could have replaced some of the parts or at least put it in a park or something, but the school that Amber went to technically no longer exists. But there are also a bunch of good documentaries to watch. There's, of course, Amber's Story, which is actually a pretty decent TV movie about her abduction and murder and the creation of the Amber Alert. It's from 2006, I believe, and for what it is, it's pretty good. I wasn't expecting to really like that much, but I liked it. I thought the woman who played Donna did her part pretty well. There's also the documentary, Amber, the girl behind the alert. Now, I haven't really actually watched it, but from what I have heard, it is pretty good. It has interviews with family and investigators and a bunch of other people like that who were involved in the case, and just how the Amber Alert came to be and how her family hopes one day it will be solved, but at the same time how they're happy that it's helped a bunch of other people. So, the police do say that they do think there's a chance it could be solved one day. The DNA evidence, it's a lot better than it used to be, and it's possible that one day soon that they might be able to go and put all this together and finally solve it with the better DNA. Amber wanted to be a mom, and in a way, she did. She's going and helping a bunch of other kids return to their families and be safe. So even though she didn't get to be a mom physically, she still is, in a way, a mom. And if that's what she truly wanted, then she got what she always wanted to be. And I hope she's up there in heaven knowing that she's doing a lot of good in this world. So with that said, I hope you learned something from this video, and hope you might even learn something from it. Maybe you never knew the creation of the Amber Alert, and now you do. If you did like this video, like it, subscribe, comment, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.